Hi guys, Michelle here. I'm in the process of making some handmade paper, and I thought I would just turn on my camera and see if I can record this process and be able to share how to make it. So the first thing I did here is I tore up a bunch of paper and just threw it into my blender and then added some water. So it's packing. I just used packing paper, from all the packages we get from Amazon and wherever else. So I just tore up the paper, and probably equals about 3 sheets of paper, if you're looking for that kind of a number. And then I just put about 3/4 of the blender jug of water, just filled it up with water. So now you might want to turn the volume down because I'm going to turn on my blender, and it should go for about 30 to 40 seconds because we're trying to create a really good pulp to make the paper with. So just I don't know how to edit videos, so otherwise I would just cut it out, but like I said, I don't know how to do it, and just to spend the time trying to figure it out it's too time consuming. So bear with me, and like I said, about 30 to 40 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, to make this into a pulp. So sorry about the noise. I'm just going to take a peek. Yeah, actually it looks pretty good. So maybe not quite as long as I thought. I guess it depends on how much paper you have in there. So the next thing we're going to do is pour this pulp into, I have a tub here with water in it. And this tool is called a mold and decal. So this is the mold. This is the decal. Now there are plenty of videos on YouTube that teach you how to make these yourself, or you can order it online. I got it from a company here in Canada called papertrail.ca. Anyway, so it's just like a window screen attached to the back of a molded plastic, but apparently you can use picture frames or whatever works. So the decal goes on the bottom, and this is the mold, and that goes on the top. And then this tub is filled with water, and then you just take your pulp that's in your blender, and you just pour it into your tool, your mold and decal. And at this point now, I'm going to take some dried flowers that I have, and I'm just going to, kind of squish them up and sprinkle them in there, because I like that kind of stuff in my flowers. In my paper. And I just dried a bunch of flowers that I got from a bouquet. I don't know, my birthday, I think, anyway. So we just put those in there, and I just kind of try to get them sort of scattered throughout. You don't want everything all in one spot. And you can play with it. You can put anything you want in here. You can put, like tear up some newspaper really, really small. And you might have wanted to do that in the blender as well. You can use any kind of leaves. I have a big tub of leaves here, dried up spruce and all that kind of stuff, and flowers. You can put all that in there. But right now I'm just doing this for now, just to show you my process. And then you want to lift up both pieces, the mold and decal, together at the same time, and not super quick, because you want the paper to be even. You don't want it to be lumpy on one side. And so I just pick it up kind of slowly and let the water release out of the screen. And I can already see it a little bit. It's kind of thin in there. So I'll just try to push the pulp around a bit just to sort of cover that hole. It'll pretty much stick together anyway, but it'll show up as a really thin part in your paper. So I just let the water drain out. I don't tip it too much, because it'll start to go down. And this paper is not completely white. It's kind of a beige color. But I think if you use a white paper, you'll probably, well, your flower, and you could use just white paper, just white printing paper, like printer paper. And then, so the next thing I do, I sure hope you guys are going to be able to see this. I'm going to actually move this tub because I'll just show you what I do, and then you can go from there. So I just put it on top of a towel because we need to get the moisture out. So it's just on this towel, and then I use sorry about saying so much. I'll just use a paper towel to start kind of getting some of the water out, because the idea is to try to have the least amount of moisture in there when you remove it from the screen. I saw one video, I had actually taken a course for this like years and years and years ago. And we didn't put anything on the screen to try to, you know, get the paper from not sticking to it. But I did see a video where a guy, he sprayed his screen with cooking oil. But I didn't want oil in my paper or in my water, so I didn't do that, and I found a way that it releases from the screen quite nicely. So I just try to get most of the moisture out, just like that. And then you can take off the mold because you don't need it anymore. And what the mold does is it helps to create that edge, the border on your paper. See what we have so far? So then I just turn it around, and then you know, try to dry this part of it as much as I can. And then when I go to release it, I just kind of tap it like that, and it releases from the screen nicely. So there you have. Actually, I'm not a fan of this color of paper, but I think white paper would be really nice. And then I just try to get rid of a little bit more of that moisture, get it out of the paper. It looks pretty good. Squeeze my cloth. And then the next thing I do is I just grab my tea towel. I have a tea towel here. I just put that on there. And then, it's kind of a process. My iron's not that hot, but then I just iron it. So it starts to dry a bit and it really flattens. Because especially the first few I made today, they were really thick. And so what I've learned is you don't need as much pulp as you think you need. As long as it covers the entire screen, you're good. My iron's not working very well, but you know, it's kind of a craft iron, so it gets used for lots of my craft projects. So it's still quite wet, so yeah, I would suggest heating up your iron before trying this. I thought it was hot already, but it seems to have cooled a bit. So we've got a sizzle now. So you kind of just want to go over it and try to get it to dry. The best, and then it takes about 24 hours to completely dry. And so at that point you can cover it again with or go over it again with your iron. I don't know what I'll do because this is the first time I've made paper in like 25 years. So there's a sheet of paper. These guys are probably all gonna slide off, but that's okay because you'll still see some of the leftovers. I actually should have put those in with the blender, but I didn't. So they won't stay, they won't stick. Some of them will, but they won't all stick. And then I just put them on a paper towel and put it off to the side until it's completely dry. I hope that helped you. If you're ever interested in getting into paper making, it's a lot of fun. The next batch I'm gonna make here, I'm gonna use a whiter paper because I'm not a big fan of this color. The ones I made earlier this morning, I'll show you. They kind of have a yellow hue, so I have these ones all kind of like this one, this drawing now. So anyway, I'm going to try some different colors. I'm going to try some food coloring. And I also saw a video where a guy put acrylic paint in with his pulp. And I thought, oh, I don't know if I want to do that to my blender just yet, but you certainly can do it. Try whatever you've got to make different colors. Try different, yeah, see, this is all coming off already. So I have a big bucket of dried flowers, beautiful purple rose. I've got a yellow rose, some purple flowers, red burgundy flowers. See that? Pretty. So I'm going to keep working on these because I'm absolutely having a blast. And I'll share with you guys later what I come up with, what the other ones that I come up with. But so if you want to make paper, you need a blender, you need water, you need paper towels. A sponge would work really well. I didn't have a sponge, so I just used a cloth to dab out the moisture. The mold and decal, they're very handy, but check YouTube because I know that there are people that make them with picture frames. Like just, you know, take 2 picture frames the same size and you've got yourself a mold and decal. Or order the fancy one from Paper Trail, papertrail.ca. All right, that's it for now. See you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.